Hi, I'm Aaron, and these are 7 little job site mistakes that drive clients crazy. As a project manager for custom home builds, I was the primary point of contact for the client whenever anything was of concern on a build. And believe me, I heard a lot of concerns. Some were valid, like there's a lot of water in the basement, and some were definitely not. The nail holes are all moldy, and most were somewhere in between. During a major build or major renovation, clients are spending amounts of money they never dreamed they'd be spending in their life. And that can be stressful, and sometimes that can leave their nerves a little raw. As a designer and construction consultant now, I'm often the sounding board for client concerns before clients go to the builder with their worries or complaints. They'll ask me, is this normal? And in many cases, the behavior is normal, and I can head that one off at the pass. But sometimes clients have legitimate reasons for their annoyance. And these are some of the most common complaints I've heard over my years in this industry that drive clients nuts. Empty job site. This one's frustrating to clients, especially if there's a time constraint on the project, which there normally is. Clients feel let down, and they don't often understand the reasons for an empty job site. They feel like the ugly girl or guy at the school dance, like all the trades have somewhere more important to be. As a contractor, sometimes this happens. A certain trade finished yesterday and another can't start till tomorrow. Someone called in sick today, the drywaller's mud hasn't dried, etc. There can be lots of legitimate reasons why there's no one on the site that given day. But that still doesn't stop clients from getting annoyed, especially if they pop by the site unannounced. The contractor or PM will get the phone call, and it sounds even worse if they're unaware too. The best thing they can do is get proactive and let the clients know there won't be anyone on site today because blank, or better yet, reassure them that you won't lose time in the schedule. Complaints from the city or municipality. This can cover a wide range of behaviors or infractions, whether there's a parking issue on site or the trades are parking where they shouldn't. Sometimes there are noise complaints, sometimes garbage or waste disposal issues, building official issues. The origin of the issue doesn't really matter to the client because when they get a phone call as the registered owner of the property that something isn't up to city standards, it's simply one more thing that clients are forced to deal with, and that drives them crazy. Sometimes it's just a courtesy call, other times there are more serious bylaw infractions that need immediate attention, but it's always unexpected and always a layer of unwanted stress for clients. Starting too early. I fully understand some workers want to get a jump on the day and are early risers, especially if it's summer and it's hot out. Many try to get their workday done before the heat really sets in, but locally we have a 7 a.m. start time that's set by the city, and most abide by that. Sometimes when workers begin to blur those lines a little bit, starting at 6:45, sometimes 6:30, and generally as long as the PM or the client doesn't get noise complaints from the neighbors, it's okay. Things very much change if there's a renovation and clients are living in the house. Clients are already tired of having strangers in their house all day, so when there's a worker cruising by their bedroom window while they're sleeping or just waking up, it can really ramp up the feeling of having no privacy. I've heard of workers showing up on the weekends early without telling the clients, and that almost never goes well. The worker thinks, oh, they'll be happy, I want to get the job done. And the client's feeling like a fish in a fishbowl already, and now the weekends aren't even sacred. This one seems small, but can really fray nerves very quickly. Ciggies on the ground. This one fully inspired this whole video. I was walking on one of my job sites recently, a renovation, and came across a place where clearly some of the trades have been at a habit of smoking at. There's a 3-foot circle of probably 50 cigarette butts stamped into the dirt. The client came up, saw me looking down at the ciggies in the grass, and was seething. He found it so disrespectful. He thought it was so disrespectful they couldn't dispose of the butts in some container or throw them away. For some reason, it seems like so much worse than a normal piece of trash, which could conceivably be absentmindedly dropped and blown into the bushes. Cigarettes are in someone's hand, and in this case, deliberately dropped onto the ground and stamped out 20 feet away from where the kids playing in the playhouse. This will send clients through the roof. Dust, noise, parking, trash, noise, bad language, sawdust, noise, water, sun, shade, noise, traffic. You get the idea. No neighbor likes the disruption to their regular lives, and no one likes construction next door. Some neighbors understand, and some really don't like any construction or disruption at all, and are looking for their pound of flesh to recoup if they get their chance. If there's a noise bylaw to start at 7 a.m. and someone starts at 6:55, true story, the city is getting a phone call. If a piece of roofing blows off the roof and into their yard, the city gets a call. If there's an open excavation and dust blows off the driveway and dirties their cars, the city gets a call. When I manage jobs, we sometimes preemptively bought car wash vouchers for the neighbors, whether they needed them or not. And that seemed to start jobs off on the right foot. The best thing you can do as a contractor is go around to the neighbors, introduce yourself, be friendly, upfront, and open to any concerns the neighbors have before the job starts. Now, you may be opening yourself to diffuse a few extra agitated phone calls by giving away your phone number right away, but those people will likely have called anyways, and it's better they call you than they call the city, who will likely just call the client right away. Remember, in many cases, these are going to be the client's new neighbors, so they really don't want to start these relationships off on the wrong foot. Taking long breaks. This one could have a few titles, but taking long breaks is one that drives clients up the wall. Starting late, leaving early could be another. Clients may come from jobs or professions where they're required to put in long hours at high-stress jobs, and they drive by their job site on their lunch break at 1:30 p.m., and their crew is gone for the day. Not a good look. Now, there's a huge caveat here in that workers on a job site hate nosy clients that they feel are watching them too closely or timing their lunch breaks. I once had a site supervisor quit a job site because the client was a stay-at-home mom and was basically monitoring them all day. We had to have a chat with her and explain that she could trust us and we're only billing her for the hours worked. Oftentimes, clients don't understand what mandated breaks workers have to take or how a worker's day is structured, but when they see workers lounging around too often at different times of the day during weeks on end, the trust in the relationship breaks down and they get really annoyed. Untidy job site. Often clients see their projects as what they're going to be and not what they are right now. In a word, they see their home as sacred ground, and when a job site isn't kept clean and tidy, they can sometimes take it personally. I've seen this many times. Site cleanliness is a topic that tradespeople hate. They are generally geared toward production, and many see cleaning as a waste of their time, explaining that they're paid by the hour most often, and it doesn't matter what they're doing is futile. When clients walk around their home and are tripping over trash and electrical wire insulation, walking through sawdust and spilled coffee cups and energy drinks, they get the impression that no one cares about their project. This is a real opportunity for contracts to separate the wheat from the chaff and distinguish themselves as a quality builder. A clean job site is a safe job site and shows the client that their project is being treated with respect. It may seem like a minor annoyance to some builders, but to some clients, it's a major deal. So when I was editing this video, I realized I had left out one really important job site mistake that contractors often make and drives clients crazy, and that is a lack of efficiency. I'll give you two examples of a lack of efficiency that drives clients nuts. One is landfill trips. Landfill trips are fine, they're necessary, but taking two guys to go to the landfill when one guy could absolutely do the job, that kind of drives clients crazy. They get really confused and they think, well, why did two guys go to the landfill when one could have done it? Most landfills are not close to the city. They're often outside of city limits and often a ways outside of city limits. So you're looking at, depending on your location, a minimum of a 20-minute drive. So the client is thinking, okay, so now I'm paying two guys to go on a 20-minute drive one way, briefly unload the material out of the back of the truck, and then drive at least 20 minutes back. Compounded by the fact that sometimes they'll come back with a coffee cup or a bag of chips that shows they made another stop and they're gone for maybe an hour, hour and a half. And the client's wondering, am I paying these guys just to go and have bro time and unload the truck and then get some snacks on the way back? That may not always be true, and yeah, the workers may not be billing for that time, but it's not good optics. And the second thing that confuses clients is when your workers leave midday to get materials. This can drive clients crazy, especially if, again, you take two people to go get materials. Two people don't need to go get materials, and they don't need to go midday. Two suggestions I have for contractors in this scenario. Number one is don't go at midday. Go in the morning or go at the end of the day. When you go midday, it looks like you've got your materials for the day and then you're not good at scope analysis and seeing what it is that you're going to be doing that day. And so you've forgotten something and you have to go back, and clients don't like knowing that they're paying for something and that really didn't need to be done. It also shows that you haven't planned your day or your week very well. Knowing what materials you're going to need for what specific tasks you're going to be taking on for that week. It's not a good look. Some will say that, but I don't want materials on site. I don't want my wood to twist up and I don't want my materials to get damaged. And I hear that argument, But the reality is if you plan your week out correctly, the maximum that material is going to sit on site for is 5 days. If you get it on Monday and you need it on Friday, wood, if it's stored in the shade, is not going to twist up in 5 days. 5 weeks? Sure. Also, plan a good staging area for materials that you're not going to need quite yet. That's out of the way, that won't get damaged by people or equipment. So these kinds of inefficiencies, they can really drive clients nuts, especially if they're confused about what they're paying for and what they're not paying for, what labor hours they're being charged for and what labor hours they're not being charged for. So that's a little summary of the seemingly little issues that clients get riled up over. Having been on all sides of this, I can say with certainty that avoiding these will make everyone's life a lot easier. A happy client is the best client. So I hope this video helps you out or may help you out in the future. If you're able to, please help me out and like and subscribe. And if you do, I will take you out for Indian food. And if you do, I will rock you like a hurricane. And if you do, I will give you my egg salad sandwich recipe. If you do, I'll teach you how to juggle. If you do, I'll film my next video wearing a sombrero made of tortilla chips with guacamole inside. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.